Hello and welcome. Today we are diving into a really mind-bending sci-fi concept called the Aperture Protocol. It's this incredible story about consciousness, control, and a choice that could literally redefine what it means to be human.
So let's start with this quote, because it drops us right into São Paulo, 2097. And this place, it isn't just a city. It's basically a living organism, a corporate state where every single move is tracked by a total surveillance network they call the mesh. But as you can see, someone is starting to see the patterns they shouldn't, the little glitches in the matrix of a world that's supposed to be perfectly controlled.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to follow one character's incredible journey as she uncovers a secret so huge it was literally erased from history. And it all starts with just a tiny crack in her own perception. So, let's talk about that crack. It's time to meet our protagonist, Elena Vasquez. She's a security analyst whose strange talent is about to completely unravel her entire world.
Elena is the absolute best at her job because, well, she just sees things that other people miss. She calls it intuition. Her employer just calls it a talent. But here's the thing. It comes with these strange migraines, only they don't really feel like pain. It's more like her mind is straining to hear a sound that's just beyond the range of human hearing. In a world that is completely built on firewalls and control, Elena's own mind has a crack in it, and believe me, it's starting to get wider.
So this weird perception of hers, it just keeps getting more and more intense, and it's pushing Elena to investigate the one firewall she's never been able to breach, her own surgically erased childhood.
And what kicks off this whole investigation is this powerful, recurring dream. It's the same thing every single night. A sterile white room, a woman's face that she can never quite make out, and a light so bright it feels like it's rewriting her from the inside. You know, it doesn't feel like just a dream. It feels like a memory that is fighting its way to the surface.
So she starts following these breadcrumbs from her past, and she uncovers the ghost of her mother, Maria Vasquez. And it turns out Maria wasn't just any surgeon. She was a pioneer in a field that's now considered a crime against consciousness. Her entire professional history was just scrubbed from existence.
At the very heart of her mother's work was this totally radical theory. Maria argued that our brains aren't actually designed to let reality in. They're designed to keep most of it out. She saw consciousness as this infinite ocean, and our brain, that's just a valve, only letting through the tiny little trickle we need to survive day to day.
Okay, this all leads Elena to the climax of her investigation. This is where the dream and reality finally collide, and she uncovers the shocking truth of what her mother actually did to her.
And then it happens. In this breakthrough memory, she finally hears the words from the dream clearly. It's her mother, speaking to her when she was just a child, moments before performing some kind of mysterious procedure on her in that white room.
And get this, it turns out Maria didn't just have a theory. She went and developed a whole procedure. She's the one who called the brain's filter the aperture, and her Aperture Protocol, well, it was designed to open it. So what does that even mean? This explains it perfectly. For someone who's gone through the protocol, the digital mesh isn't some abstract network anymore. It's a visible, physical thing they can see. They can literally feel the emotions and intentions of others, like direct empathy. And the biggest thing? They perceive consciousness not as something locked inside their own head, but as a universal field, like that ocean that they're a part of.
But hang on. If this technology offers a connection to the very fabric of reality, why on earth was it so violently suppressed? Well, that question leads us to a secret war that's been fought in the shadows for the last 20 years.
This timeline really reveals a hidden history. There was this group called the Aperture Society that pioneered all this work. But the very same year Maria performed the procedure on her own daughter, the corporate state cracked down hard. They banned the protocol, silenced the scientists, and forced all the survivors to go underground for 2 whole decades, until now.
And the reason for that crackdown becomes crystal clear when you see what happened next. See, while the original society wanted to liberate human potential, the corporations, of course, co-opted the research for control. They created this crude, weaponized version of the protocol to train psychic hunters called lensers, agents who could use just a tiny sliver of this expanded perception to track people by their very thoughts. They were hunting the same consciousness the society wanted to set free.
So this brings us to today. With her own aperture starting to reopen, Elena finds herself drawn into this hidden world that her mother built, a sanctuary for the survivors.
Hidden away in the negative spaces of the city, the gaps in the surveillance grid, Elena finds them.
Her mother, Maria, is alive, and she's been protecting a small community of others whose perception has also been expanded.
And after 20 long years of hiding, they have a plan, a really audacious plan. And it all hinges on this one critical number, 32. That's the absolute minimum number of opened minds they need, all resonating in perfect psychic harmony to pull this thing off. Honestly, their plan is just breathtaking. They're not going to fight the system. They're going to hijack its physical infrastructure to transmit a signal through the universal field of consciousness itself. It's not an attack. It's an offer. It's an invitation sent to every single person connected to the mesh, the chance to feel what it's actually like to have your own aperture open. And that leaves us with one final provocative question. This isn't just about some cool sci-fi tech, it's about the very nature of our own reality. If you were offered the chance to take the filters off, to see everything, knowing it might change you forever, would you accept?